Yet again, this one goes out to all you degenerates. Yo ho ho, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, and welcome to yet another edition of the Don Mafia Show. I am your host, Dan Mitchell, and say that you're new here, I am an avid member of the Bills Mafia, and I regularly put out videos about the NFL and the Buffalo Bills as much as humanly possible. If that is your cup of tea, I highly recommend subscribing to this channel and smashing the ever-living out of that like button. That is right, week 12 is amongst us. Some Thanksgiving football is right around the corner, and in this episode I am going to be giving you my weekly picks and, in my opinion, the best possible bet that you can put down on each and every single game. And so, but before we dive into this, I do want to give a giant shout out to today's sponsor, and that just so happens to be Prize Picks. Prize Picks is hands down the #1 player prop bet platform on the market today. It is super simple to use. You simply just pick 2 to 6 players, and as long as you predict their statistics correctly, whether or not that it is over or under the projections that Prize Picks puts in place, you have the potential of seeing some major cash. And so what makes it even better is that Prize Picks is hooking up my audience. The second that you sign up for the app, make sure that you use code AFC East, and Prize Picks will match 100% up to your initial deposit, all the way up to $100. And if that wasn't enough either, this week they're running a special promo. One of your players in your prop bet can be Justin Jefferson for over under 0.5 yards. Safe to say, I think he's going to hit that. So whatever you're doing, stop this video and download Prize Picks today. Hey, you. Yeah, that's right, you. That guy that's sitting on the shitter right now, staring down at his phone with his double chin. Why haven't you hit the like button yet, dog? I asked you nicely. Literally 3 seconds ago. You're sitting there, it's like, oh, content, this dude. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. So without further ado, let's just go on ahead and dive into this. First game, Thanksgiving. As a Bills fan, I am looking forward to this game. It's going to be Bills at the Lions. Now, never sleep on the Lions. They have a top 10 offense, surprisingly enough. However, their defense is clearly booty cheeks. So I do have the Buffalo Bills winning this game, simply just due to the statistics that the Lions defense has been putting out. It's like Oprah out there as far as the pass game is concerned, especially with their secondary. Right now, the spread is currently sitting at plus 9.5. I'm going to stay away from the spread on this game. If I had to put any money down on this, I'm going to have to hammer the over on this. And so the over-under is sitting at 45. You have two high-powered offenses. The Buffalo Bills secondary is absolutely disheveled with injuries. I am hammering the over on this game. Book that. This next game up on Thanksgiving is going to be the New York Giants and then also the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I cannot imagine that guy that used to make those memes of, hey, just checking in to see if you still them boys. He has probably been very bored this season because this team's defense has been carrying them, whether or not that Dak Prescott is taking snaps or whether or not that it's Cooper Rush. However, in this particular game, I do see the Cowboys coming out on top. I love their defense. I think that they're starting to slowly figure it out on offense and be a bit more consistent. So Cowboys with the dub right there. As far as any sort of bet that I would put down there, I really like the spread. Because right now the Giants are given plus 9.5. While I think the Cowboys are going to come out on top, I think the Giants are going to play them a little closer, especially since it is on prime time and the Giants are coming off of a loss. So say that I was putting any money down in this game, plus 9.5, and so I'm definitely giving that to the Giants. Next up, the Patriots and the Vikings. Okay, listen, the Vikings absolutely got a reality check once they played the Cowboys this past week, losing 40-3. I'm going to go on ahead and say that the Patriots are going to win this game just because it's Kirk Cousins in primetime. Let's be honest with ourselves. And then number 2, this Patriots defense has been largely slept on this season. And so they are a top 5 statistical defense throughout the entire league right now. I think that they are going to be giving the Vikings absolute fits. So I do have the Patriots winning this game. As far as a particular bet, I'm going to have to go with the Patriots money line on this. Next up is going to be the Broncos and the Panthers. I saw this meme the other day where there was like some competition of how many touchdowns Russell Wilson will throw compared to how many bathrooms he has in his house. It was absolutely hysterical. So far, his bathrooms are winning as far as sheer numbers are concerned. However, with this game, it's going to be really boring. I have no interest in watching this whatsoever. I suppose that it could be interesting to watch Sam Darnold come back with his first start as a Carolina Panther since his injury. I mean, that entire quarterback carousel has been something. So maybe the Panthers see that Darnold is the answer after all. However, I do see the Broncos winning this game. Very, very low scoring, very boring, but I see the Broncos end up pulling one off on the road. Say that I had to put in a bet that I would feel comfortable with, I'm probably going to have to go with the under. They're giving it 36 points right now. Both of these teams have a very vanilla offense, not a lot of execution. I'm going the under on 36. Next up, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you have the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are coming off of a loss against the Buffalo Bills. They had a strangely quiet run game this past Thursday in Detroit. However, I see them bouncing back, and I see Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt definitely bouncing back from that weak performance. I see the Buccaneers winning, unfortunately, as much as I would love to see Tom Brady lose every single game for the rest of his career. I do see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pulling this one out. However, as far as a bet is concerned, I am really loving the 3.5 points that the Browns have been given. So I'm going to go on ahead and hammer the Cleveland Browns plus 3.5 on this one. Next up, the Ravens and the Jags. This is going to be a slaughter. This is going to be an absolute slaughter. The Baltimore Ravens have the easiest schedule throughout the rest of the regular season. They are just going to march into the playoffs. Literally, it's bad. Ravens win this game, hands down. So I'd probably just do the Baltimore money line at this point. Texans and the Dolphins. Now, like Tom Brady, I would also love for the Dolphins to lose every single game for the rest of their franchise history. However, they are playing the Texans. Right now, they are 13-point favorites, and let's be honest with ourselves, the Houston Texans are quite clearly just one of the worst football teams in the league as of right now. So the Dolphins I see winning handedly. However, I do like the spread in the favor of the Texans. I do like their young running back. I think that they are going to put up some sort of points because the Miami Dolphins defense has been struggling as of late. And so I think that the Houston Texans plus 13 is a safe bet. Next up, the Chicago Bears are going off to MetLife to face off against the New York Jets. The Jets just recently benched Zach Wilson after taking zero accountability for his piss-poor performance this past week. So Mike White is going to be out there. We remember that guy from last year. Shocked the world with the Bengals, and then afterwards just shit the bed. This game is going to be very difficult to predict. I'm not going to lie, but going with my gut, I am going to have to go with the New York Jets just because I feel like that the locker room is turned on Zach Wilson. They're going to be all about Mike White. He's going to make the plays that is needed, and then the New York Jets are just going to ball out on defense like they typically do. So I'm going to have to go with the Jets on this. Probably just hammer the Jets money line. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals and the Tennessee Titans. And so the Bengals are currently 1.5-point favorites. I think that this should be a pretty interesting matchup. I can see this absolutely being a shootout, a really offensive blow-by-blow sort of situation. I think the Bengals are going to come out on top with this game. I see Derrick Henry absolutely balling out. I see Joe Burrow doing very well, especially against that Tennessee Titans secondary, which is also significantly injured. However, I do see the Bengals winning this game. They are currently favored by 1.5. And so if I had to put money down on this game, I really like the over at 42.5. The Falcons and the Commanders, I think Heineke is just a better fit for this Commanders offense. I have no idea whether or not that has to do with the fact that Carson Wentz is just clearly washed up, or the offense just tends to play a lot better when he is behind center. I do like the Commanders with Heineke. However, right now they are currently 4.5-point favorites, most likely because they are currently at home. I have the Falcons winning this game. I really do. I still think that they're a sleeper for winning this division. They're a little inconsistent, but when you look at how bad the NFC South is, I really think that the Falcons have a great opportunity of turning this around and winning it. I am hammering the Atlanta money line. 110%. The Chargers and the Cardinals. I feel like Kingsbury is just hanging on by a thread as far as his head coaching position is concerned. I feel like Kyler Murray, so the entire team is just mad at him because he coincidentally got an injury right when Modern Warfare came out. So maybe that contract where he had to spend an extra 4 or 5 hours reviewing film should have stuck. However, with all of that said, so the Chargers are currently favored -4.5. for this game. I have the Chargers winning this game. I see them bouncing back. They played the Chiefs very, very close. That game was wildly exciting last weekend. However, I do see the Chargers winning, and then as far as any sort of bet is concerned, I'm going to have to go with the spread. I'm definitely giving the Chargers 4.5 points. I think that they are going to beat Arizona by 2 scores. There's Raiders and the Seahawks. Let's go on ahead and talk about more disappointments of teams that we expected a lot more out of. The Raiders aren't winning this game. I see the Seahawks coming out. I think Pete Carroll has proven to the world that he was the reason for the success of Russell Wilson, and it is beautifully demonstrated with how well Geno Smith has been playing this year. Right now, I see the Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites. I definitely see the Seahawks winning this game, and I'm probably just going to have to go with the Seahawks money line at this point. Next up, we have the Rams and the Chiefs. Wow, the Chiefs are favored by 14.5 points. Okay, that is a lot. That is a lot. It might have to do with the fact that Stafford is injured. Same with Cooper Kupp is gone. This team just is clearly in a Super Bowl hangover right now. I'm not sure I like that many points, though. I really don't. Say that I had to pick anything, I'm probably going to have to go with the over and 44 points, but I do see the Chiefs winning this game. But next up is the Saints and the 49ers. The 49ers are currently 9.5-point favorites for this game. We all ended up seeing that interview from Jameis Winston as he was very sad that they still continue to put Andy Dalton out there as their starting quarterback. Perhaps a change back to Winston would make some sense because where it stands now, the Saints team has not a snowball's chance in hell of beating the San Francisco 49ers at home. It's just not happening. This team is a sleeper Super Bowl contender, as long as they can stay healthy throughout the remainder of the year. Very few games left on their schedule that I see them losing. With that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the spread minus 9.5. I think that they're going to beat them by 2-3 scores as well. So next up is the Packers and the Eagles. Let's talk about inconsistency, and that just so happens to be the Green Bay Packers. And then the Eagles, who a lot of people have been throwing out criticism that their schedule is weak, they're frauds, you name it. However, this game's going to be pretty interesting. I think, this is going to be my upset of the week. I see the Packers winning this game. I really, really do. I'm going to hammer the Green Bay money line, and I'll be here next week when I can tell you I told you so. So last but not least, Monday Night Football is going to be the Steelers versus the Colts. This is going to be the third game from Jeff Saturday. He's done pretty well so far, not going to lie to you. Winning his first game and only losing his last one by 1 point. Seems like the offense is really starting to click with what this guy's vision is. I see Jonathan Taylor having yet another game. I know that TJ Watt is back, but the Steelers are largely just in a rebuild at this point. I don't see them winning this game, especially in Indy. So I'm more than likely going to have to take the Colts at minus 2.5. I see them beating them by at least a touchdown. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, those are my picks. And do me a favor, leave a comment with your feedback, your particular picks. I always enjoy reading that information. Thank you so much for tuning in. And before I let you go, you better always remember, let's go Buffalo.